that you could do.
I was wrong.
When Avatar originally came out, I think we had an interest in kind of veiling the whole process of performance capture. It's almost like that magician not wanting to tell how a trick is done. You want to preserve the mystery.
I can't run. I can't fight. Well, that's right. Eywa will provide.
It's not like you're standing at a podium doing a voice part.
We are in our suits that allow us to transform into a character, and we are deeply in the story.
If there is something you can do, then you must do it.
It allows the scene to just play through you. You can surrender to it completely.
This world goes much deeper than you imagine.
It's the most unencumbered way of working that I've ever experienced, and it totally spoils you.
This is the only pure thing in this world.
I mean, it was like being back in drama school. You know, Stanislavski and like all the different things where you just have a chair and it's just you. Finally, I could use my body, which was something that I always wanted to do. And just to be able to do the scenes with so much freedom was such a gift.
Jake, the strength of the ancestors runs in your son's veins.
It was basically the education that I always felt I had never received in performance and theater and art, and being cast in Avatar and being given this amazing gift and access to all these resources.
You've seen what they can do. This is the only way. You gotta go right now.
Take your sister. Go and hide. Go! If you stay, I stay.
Whatever happens, do not raise that bow. You swear to me.
It's such an opportunity. I want everyone to get to do it. You're free. My God, you're so free, and especially working with a director as generous as Jim, who loves these characters and supports his actors. And it really gives the creative people so much freedom.
With Avatar, I love the detail of bringing a world to life.
This world goes much deeper than you imagine.
Fire and Ash absolutely swerves into new territory. We see brand new cultures and creatures.
Filming an intelligent, fully fledged culture was really down to the details. Designing the wardrobe and the headdresses and the weapons was an immense challenge.
We created new clans like the Ash people. They have a very willful leader in Varong.
Show me how to make thunder.
The visual quality that they have is so different. They're heavily scarred. They have piercings. They are a clan of people who don't mind pain.
This new, very powerful, knowledgeable character enhances the threat to the Sullys.
How do you still live? Because it is the will of Eywa. Eywa.
She's like this young queen. Her subjects really worship her, and she has a curious alliance with the enemy.
You want to spread your fire across the world. You need me. If you watch the way Una moves, it defines the character.
There was something special in Una's portrayal. I got front row seats when we're filming, and it's even more shocking and even more frightening when you see it on a big screen.
You're doing this?
Burn them all.
I am the fire!
And then we got a culture called the Wind Traders.
Lighten ship, come up easy.
They are nomads that have accessorizing that looks like wisps of clouds.
We had a huge practical set built that was the main deck of the Wind Traders floating gondola.
They were tools and weapons that were created for us. Anything that we needed to create the Na'vi was at our fingertips.
Our biggest goal is to honor the actor's performance.
Through performance capture technology, Jim and the digital team are bringing the world of Avatar to life.
What drives me is the sense of wonder that we're able to create in a movie theater. We're going to tell a story that's compelling emotionally in a world that's compelling visually. Avatar movies are made using 3D computing tools to create a 3D presentation. Our eyes don't see 3D. Each one sees a 2D image. They go into the brain, into the visual cortex, and that's where it gets turned in our minds into a stereoscopic view of the world. So shooting what we call stereoscopic 3D, that can apply to live action photography, and it can apply to CG rendered scenes. In live action, I need to shoot not with one camera, but with two cameras, kind of like human vision, two cameras side by side. The only problem with that is that the distance between the lenses, it has to move dynamically. If I'm coming in very, very close to an actor, I have to get the cameras closer together than they can physically go. They got to go to here sometimes. How are you going to do that? Well, you're shooting a beam splitter. One camera's looking through the beam splitter, the other camera's looking down. It's like a two-way mirror. And those cameras will move like this during the shot. If I'm tracking in on an actor from 20 feet back, those cameras will be here and they'll go to there. And it's all motion controlled. So we had to work all that out. In the year 2000, I just bolted two cameras side by side. Then we started working more and more with beam splitters, and then the rigs got big. And then we started to find very small cameras and smaller lenses that would have high quality. And we figured out the servo systems, essentially the robotics, that allowed these cameras to move and breathe. Also, as you move in, the cameras tow in, just like human eyes. If you ever watch somebody take a pencil and try to focus on it with both eyes, they'll go cross-eyed. Watch, I'll go cross-eyed for you right now, okay? That's called tow-in or convergence. So we have to do what the eyes do, and we have to do what the brain does to put 3D up on a screen and make it viewable for people. So as we speak of it today, my team and I have had 25 years of experience doing this. We know the technology, we know the guidelines, we know what makes beautiful 3D. I think that's one of the things that sets an Avatar movie or any Lightstorm movie that I'm involved with apart, is 3D that's simultaneously not trying to be a 3D movie every second and poke you in the eye. It's just there. It draws you in, it wraps around you, it makes you feel like you're physically present, much more so than a flat 2D movie. And at the same time, we want to make it comfortable. So it's that question of finding the sweet spot. I want to find that sweet spot where it's there and you see that it's in 3D and it's impacting you, usually at a subconscious level, but it's not a gimmick. It's not coming at you, it's not throwing stuff at you all the time. Maybe once in a while we'll throw something at you, but not that often. And so it's an art form. It's a technical procedure, and it's an art form. You know, we have to think of it like the score. Sometimes we want to be loud, sometimes we want to be quiet. You know, it's like the sound design of the movie. There's also the spatial design of the movie. And that's very important to us as artists. I don't think anybody goes to a movie because it's in 3D these days. I think you associate 3D with a certain type of filmmaking, a certain type of world building that you want to go and see on the big screen, and the 3D is just part of it. It's like the color, it's like the lighting, it's like the scope and scale of the world. And they all support each other, like the parts of an orchestra. And so, you know, like I could talk about 3D for hours, but that's sort of my approach and my philosophy. I can't wait to share more of Avatar: Fire and Ash with all of you when it comes to theaters, December 19th.
If you thought that Way of Water was big and impactful, Fire and Ash is going to be an experience unlike anything.
It's a culmination, in a way, of the whole adventure across the previous two films.
Fire and Ash is almost a direct step from the end of the second movie. It's literally where we see them starting to tear.
You said you could protect this family.
I was wrong.
Your goddess has no dominion here.
Movie making and all its technology has finally caught up with Jim Cameron's brain. And that's what is enabling him to create this world.
Jim invented this technical world that makes it possible to go out on an empty stage and ground us.
We've got to evolve it to be able to bring people on a new journey, a new adventure.
The stakes are super high right now.
No, please, please!
It's the continuation of this saga that has all the action that a James Cameron movie has, as well as things that no one's ever seen before on a big screen.
There's something you're hiding. Tell me the truth.
Tell her it is time.
I think Fire and Ash will make absolute sense to people who are fans of the first film and of movie 2. It feels like a natural extension, and yet at the same time it absolutely swerves into new territory in a way that I think is really healthy for a sequel. I think people can get, they can get bored very quickly, or they can feel like they've seen something before. It's like, why are you making this film? We already saw this, And I think the film delivers on that level of the fresh and the new. I think where it's unexpected is that it's very truthful, very authentic about the emotional consequences of the things that happened in movie 2. The Sully family, for the kids, they lost a brother. For the parents, they lost a son. You don't recover from that. This is a whole movie about a family processing what it means to be in a war, for kids to be in a war, for parents to let their kids go and trust them enough, that they're gonna make the right decisions, that they're gonna survive, that they have the ancestors to draw from. This is an important theme in the movie.
I'm in this place where I have nothing. Not my people, not my forest. Even my father's bow is gone. All I have is my faith that this is the Great Mother's plan.
You have this family.
I think one of the things that keeps coming up in this part of the story, which was a hangover also in the Way of Water, is Jake's reluctance to take on the mantle of Tuak Makto. And I played a lot of The Way of Water as a Jake becoming a person for peace. He doesn't want to be Tuak Makto, he doesn't want to fight, he just wants to protect his family, his clan. In the third one, there's a lot of pressure to take up that mantle. But at what cost? He's already lost his son, and in the first movie, by being Tuak Makto, he lost thousands and thousands of Na'vi. And this, if he takes it up, he knows you're riding the beast of war, and it's going to become more and more bloodshed. Once you take on and ride the Leomnotrix, ride the Last Shadow, that's it. It's game on. There's no holding back. And I think that idea of Jake wrestling with that in order to become the leader that he managed to become, I think it's a lot of added stress, but it gives Tonawari something to push on. We need Tuak Makto, but at what cost? And I think that's a great dynamic that we kept exploring and we're still exploring.
Sam is my brother in so many ways, and we've kind of grown up together. We were given an opportunity of a lifetime as young up-and-coming, actors to work with one of our giants. And I really do believe that it's the gift that keeps on giving. It's not a coincidence, and it's not lost on me that Sam and I have still managed to stay and keep in touch throughout the years. And as we have grown, not just as professionals, but primarily as people, to be a part of each other's lives at whatever capacity has been a true gift for me. I love him with all my heart.
Come on. Here.
The training was kind of like one of my favorite parts. I spent most of my career in a corset, and finally I was getting to use like the fullness of my body, and that was, in the fight training and the sticks. Gosh, I can't even remember the style of fighting that we were doing, but with like these sticks, it's so cool. And then the bugong, and then the archery, and like all of those pieces that are just like, I've always just wanted to do that, just for fun, and for learning how to fill my body and how to use my physical being to like exert force and energy into the world, in a good way, not like Vaughn. But it was also fun to explore it in her terms, because the level of conviction that I needed in order to have the force, the power of my word, and the power of my gaze, and to really feel like the queen that Varang, you know, in earnest is. There's no crutches. It is you and the truth of the moment that you are imagining in your mind and your commitment to it, and there is nowhere to hide. You have cameras everywhere. You have cameras right here that are following you around as you move your head. You have thousands of everything. Nowhere to hide.
That sounds like a fun weekend, but that's not what you really want.
What do I want?
What you've never had. An equal. Jack was raw material. So for Jim, that was like, oh boy. And I think for us too. And I was there so many days with Jack, working with him, and just aware of the example that one has to set, you know, that we taught him how to work, not just myself, but Sigourney and everybody, Zoe and Sam very much so, and taught all the kids, you know, because they didn't have a lot of experience, but how fortunate, you know, they are to be with Cameron and the likes of Sigourney and Zoe as examples and stuff. So they got a good taste of what it means to work hard and to become a professional actor. And Jack, no less than any of these kids, has risen to the occasion.
I got you too. It's okay. What does that always say?
Sully sticks together.
No, the other one.
Sully never quits.
That's right. Sully's never quit.
Working with James Cameron, I think for so many years, if you work with someone, I feel like you can't help but get close. And with Jim and I saw him every day. You know, I've been to his house, hung out with his kids, and there was a point where I feel like, I mean, to this day, I feel like Jim he's like a family member to me, and like a father figure, a mentor, and he's like, yeah, I mean, I love Jim. You know, he's been there for me a lot of times during the really hard days. We've been together for cast dinners, good days on set. Like there's just so much life that I grew up with him. So, but I mean, working with him, I mean, he's James Cameron, right? Like, he can do lighting, he can do stunts, he can do, like, I mean, he knows everything about everything. So just to watch someone that good at their job is kind of always a little, it's just, I don't know, it's just like it's always almost entertaining to watch someone be so good at everything and just create this movie.
I think what the actors bring to the movie is the thing that is most important in the film. We love our world building, you know, we love creating this otherworldly experience. I love it all in 3D. I like the fact that people immerse, but why do they immerse? I could hold your interest for 5 minutes with all that stuff. I hold your interest for 3 hours because of what the actors bring. They bring the heart, the soul, the angst, the pain, the joy, all of the things that we want to feel as an audience when we're in that theater. We want to go on a journey with characters. We only care about the characters. You know, I shouldn't say we only care about the characters. The eye candy that we create around that, the creatures, the specificity of how you saddle up a marine creature or a flying creature, these things that are tactile, that connect us. It makes it feel like this fantasy world is real. Even that, in a way, you think it's the actors. The actors make you believe that it's real people in a real situation, no matter how outlandish it may look. And that's a critical thing.
As a character, he made the choice that he would always make sure Kiri felt completely loved, accepted, and supported by him. And I can feel that commitment when I work with Sam. He's sort of like the rock for me. He can't do anything that's untrue. And it's very exciting to work with someone like that.
The death of a child is such a, look, it's so guttural, and they couldn't stop it. It's a will from some other kind of force, and it's so devastating, and whether there's a way through that, that is what Fire and Ash is about. It's about grief, it's about healing, it's about suffering, and it's about how you rise, I guess, from such pain. And, you know, it's not necessarily about distinguishing grief, because the Na'vi have a way of reaching out to the dead through Eywa, but it's about how you can continue when a force way outside of your being rips you apart.
Locke thought he was outcast before. He thought he was alone before. No one understood him. And now I don't think he even understands himself. You know, we all have that hard-headedness sometimes where we're like, you know, everything I'm saying is right. You know, they just don't understand. And now he's questioning himself, and everything that he thought was bad got worse. People are not understanding him. People don't see him. Now he thinks his dad, you know, he didn't think his dad respected him now. Before he thought, my dad doesn't respect me. Now he thinks my dad hates me. And everyone hates me, and this is my fault. And he blames himself, and he hates himself, which is the saddest part.
I love the action scenes. I feel like we don't talk about it enough, because I feel like with Avatar, we're always like, it's about a family. It's about, you know, yes, there's touches on like environmentalism, but really it's about like the relationships we have with each other. It's also just a fun film. Like, can we just like sit back and just say like Avatar is it's a fun franchise. There's so much action. It's action packed. And Jim spends so much time talking about the action and wanting it to feel and the story behind every punch. And I think that is so fun. And then there's like flying banshees, and then like they're also fighting in the water, and then like there's like floating mountains. It's just like everything you could imagine, everything you can think of and more in your imagination of a fight scene and action, and then like it's just there in a film. I think I love that about Avatar.
Not only is the older cast so great at what they do, but they are also such amazing people and really embraced us younger cast with this warm, welcoming energy. Being on set with them was so crazy and fun, because I learned so much just getting to watch them do their thing and be in their zone. And also got to look up to these people and who I admire so much. Yeah, Zoe and Sam are parents, and they're very caring people, and so having them as on-set parents was super cool and fun. And it was an honor to be sisters with Sig and Una and Slang. Although they play these vicious characters, they are such fun people and were always really kind and brought this contagious energy to set. And Kate is epitome of graceful elegance, and just the whole adult cast. I could go on and on, just how awesome it is to be on set with them every day.
I sort of feel like the world of movie making and all its technology has finally caught up with Jim Cameron's brain. And that's what is enabling him to work in the way that he now does. I mean, it's fantastic how I think Jim has changed as a creative. I feel what was lovely to sort of witness and experience was the time he really gives to all the actors. I mean, if someone had a question, everything would stop. The cameras would go down and the conversation that needed to happen would happen, and it would be given ample time.
What drives me is the sense of wonder that we're able to create in a movie theater. You know, it's just that joy. It's the joy of working with artists that get what we're trying to do. We're trying to show something that people haven't seen before. We're trying to tell a story that's compelling emotionally in a world that's compelling visually. It's pretty simple, you know. So I have as much fun working with the artists that are doing the world building and the creature design and all that, and we got some humdingers coming, not just in 3, but in the ones beyond that. Some pretty great stuff I can't wait to do. But I get as much joy working with the actors and bringing these characters to life, you know, because I'm a writer, I create these characters, and I love to see what the actors do with it, whether it's Sigourney or Stephen Lang or Una Chaplin, Sam Worthington, Zoe Saldana. You know, I just love seeing them inhabit these people that are complete creatures of the imagination. You know, I mean, I think this is a joy for any filmmaker, any screenwriter that also gets to be a director. For me, it's end to end.
I think that Avatar, our very first installment of Avatar, had left such a long-lasting impression that there was this anticipation, you know, in the air. Also to the advantage with all the time that had passed. Now there were going to be multi-generational, you know, components to family, you know, gathering, family groups, because so much time had gone by that you had parents now of children or grandparents and parents that were going to be bonding over something. I think the message with our story, with our saga, is so meaningful that it penetrated very quickly to the core of every human being. And we find ourselves identifying with a lot of the things that the Na'vi are battling with, and we're rooting for them.
The strength of the ancestors is here.
Live like this, baby. In hate.
If there is something you can do, then you must do it.
Children! No, Spider. And we will find another way. Your goddess has no dominion here.